Okay, let's look into some verified archaeological news about early European modern humans, what we used to call Cro-Magnon man. This just came out today, so I thought I'd throw in together here. Breaking news, earliest Upper Paleolithic humans in Europe discovered. When did modern humans reach the lands we now call Europe? When did those late Stone Age humans replace the Neanderthals as the dominant hominins of the region? The answer to those questions about the migration of humans into Europe should be as simple as finding and dating their bones, right? Well, that's where things get complicated because the reality of Homo Sapiens fossils record from the earliest days of our species in Europe is not the best, and the earliest dates for modern humans there, as Europe has been reliant on indirect dating methods until now. Two papers published in the Journal of Nature today dive into the story of modern humans arriving in the lands we now call Europe and the ways they may have interacted with the Neanderthals already living there. The researchers explored the significance of hominin fossils and artifacts that were discovered in Bako Kiro Cave in Bulgaria. Their findings suggest that the remains they have found are of the earliest examples of Upper Paleolithic or Late Stone Age Homo sapiens in the region found so far. And here's a look at the cave, and they talk about a 70s excavation. There was a couple of earlier ones too they'll talk about, but they found other things in this main sector and in the niche. Bakokiro Cave is 5 kilometers, or a little over 3 miles, west of Darianovo in Bulgaria. It is located on the northern slope of the Balkan mountain range. The first excavations at Bakokiro Cave were in 1938 and in 1971 till 1975, and that's where that other excavation they've got. But researchers decided it was time to open up the site and excavate it again from 2015 until 2019 to gain more accurate dates of human occupation and the site and craters of the stone tools. I made a mention of this, and after somebody made a mention that they were looking into this site and it should be out any time, and that was in a video 2 years ago. So finally it's coming out. Their excavations unearthed human fossil remains, including bones and teeth. The researchers also found some stone tools which they have classified as initial Upper Paleolithic or IUP technology. They describe this tool technology as characterized by blades and tool types typical of the Upper Paleolithic, but with some levalos forms and faceted platforms that are reminiscent of the preceding Middle Paleolithic and African Middle Stone Age. So here's some of them right now, and they're saying, okay, this looks a lot like ones that we found before. Animal remains found at Bagnokiro Cave are primarily of the bison, deer, goat, and horse families, but also include some carnivores such as cave bears. Cave bears are quite huge, even compared to a grizzly. They're gigantic, but they also discovered at the site a number of artifacts that were modified and possibly used as ornaments, such as pendants made from bear teeth. Several of these modified artifacts have traces of red ochre still on them. So this is attaching to red ochre burials and things that I was talking about 2 years ago, about the time we discussed this before but didn't have anything to talk about in this site, and I showed you 10 or 12 others and leading through time and people that carried this trait with them. And so here are examples that they're giving of them. Hey, the interesting thing about the bear tooth pendants is they are similar to objects found at known Neanderthal sites from a later period of time. So they show them to have them first, and at even a later period of time. Neanderthals have this thing going on with bare teeth as a necklace. This is evidence of the cultural interaction between the Upper Paleolithic humans in Europe and the Neanderthals who were sharing the region. As the researchers explain, okay, the IUP pendants of Bako Kiro Cave are notably similar to artifacts produced by late Neanderthals of the Châtel-Pironian layers at Grotto de Rennes in France, or Rennes. Whatever the cognitive complexity of the last Neanderthals might have been, the earlier age of the Bako Kiro Cave materially supports the notion that these specific behavioral novelties seen in declining Neanderthal populations resulted from contacts with migrant Homo sapiens. So they're saying that at the very end of Neanderthals we see all this activity, but it looks like they got it from these guys. And what's weird is you can see that they've been drilled through and made into pendants, and they've got things that look like needles, and the very ends broke off, so you don't know if it would be an eyed needle, but boy, back at that age, wouldn't that be neat? Find something like beads and stuff like that. Oh wait, here's beads that have been found. It's cracked, but it's a circular bead with a circular hole through it, dating back to this time. Oh, and they did accurate dating on it. That's why we're talking about this, so we'll take a look at it. But you can see all these sewing needle type pieces and other things that they have. Right? And personal ornaments such as pendants and a bead. Fragmentary knowledge on the arrival of modern humans is one of the two papers released today in the Journal of Nature. Explains that before this study, the earliest examples of modern humans in Western Europe came from fragmented specimens at Kent's Cavern. That's dating in the UK about 41,500 years before present, and Cavallo, Italy, dating about 45,000 to 43,000 years before present. Those dates make sense, but they may not be 100% accurate, because as the current study's authors write, these days were based on archaeological contexts of the specimens rather than direct dating. And in both cases, the exact stratigraphic origin of the fossils is debated. And that's been a problem with archaeology and these people that, pardon me, have a religious connotation and things to things, because it seems like they don't want to go with too much changing. And it's not necessarily just the religious people, but it's archaeologists in general, where they think that they had it figured out and it goes just like this, and we come to find out quite often, well, no, it kind of goes more like this. They explain that this indirect dating method means that much of the story of humans expanding into Europe rests on hypotheses concerning the makers of various so-called transitional artifact assemblages at the advent of the Upper Paleolithic. So this has been the little derogatory comment and various forms of that same ideal, throwing at it, well, there's nothing's been set in stone really, and it's just kind of a wishy-washy, if you will. And of course, this is deep into the Ice Age. But let's continue. The reliance in indirect dating methods is part of why the experts have been debating the dates for the Middle to Upper Paleolithic transition. This is why the discovery and analysis of human fossils in Bako Kiro Cave provides much needed dating information to help clear up some of the confusion. Helen Fallis of the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology, Leipzig, Germany, and her colleagues conducted radiocarbon dating on human teeth and bones at the site to gain a more accurate chronology of the cave's human occupation. In their paper, they declare that the radio testing of the remains dates them between 46,900 and 43,650 years old. Analysis of the ancient DNA in the bones provides similar dates to from 44,830 to 42,616. This provides a big discovery in regards to Upper Paleolithic humans, as the researchers explained. To our knowledge, these bones represent the oldest European Upper Paleolithic hominids recovered to date. I like the way they put that, because they sometimes leave off that last part and say it's the oldest one, and I go, well, it's the oldest one found to date. Ooh, 15,000 rock art, Russian border, done. Camel provides Paleolithic tribal, woo, double humped camel. So you look at some of these different bones and specimens that they found here, hominin remains at the cave, if you will. The paper crediting Jean-Jacques Hublin of the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology has lead investigator explorer as lead investigator explored the bigger picture of their findings for the migration of modern humans into Europe. Sorry about that. The stone tools at that site in particular suggest the researchers that the Bako Kiro cave site demonstrates a weave of peopling that the researchers say precedes the spread of the first Upper Paleolithic bladelet technology complexes, such as the early Iranian industry in the Levant, early Kazakorian industry in the Eastern Balkans, and the Proto-Aurignacian industry in Western and Central Europe by several thousand years. So they're saying, well, this predates all of those. While it is certainly nice to have some direct dating of Upper Paleolithic human remains and see when they truly were in Europe, these studies have also provided a general support for the idea that there was more than one wave of Homo Sapiens into Europe and interacting with Neanderthals who had reached those lands before them. And I've actually seen this show of when we met other human species and stuff. It's kind of neat to watch, but I couldn't play it for you. So that's pretty neat. And they've got it dated out here, much as like 47,000 years old. And that pushes back the Cro-Magnon ideals quite a bit. I wonder if they'll be able to get DNA out of anything, but it looks like they have just small remains of people and then these fossilized bear teeth. Have you ever seen Clan of the Cave Bear? If you've never seen Clan of the Cave Bear, it's pretty neat. It's somewhat, some people find it hard to watch because it's kind of done in caveman speak, and they try to make it, gave them a whole proto-language and everything with it, but it's basically where Cro-Magnon meets Neanderthal. And I remember whenever it came out, they were kind of griping that they could have gotten more prosthetics on them and made it look more like the things that they thought that they knew. And the guys were like, that's pretty good, you know, and everything, and I didn't want people to look fake like Planet of the Apes or some crap like that. Fast forward here 35 years, and modern recreations show them to have been more accurate than the people griping back then somewhat. And the interaction between them shows a special time, but also if you look at it and the interactions that go between it, it's supposed to show the first interaction of where and how we possibly got some Neanderthal DNA from. And these people that were together. And that Cro-Magnon could count much higher in all these situations that go on. Yeah. It's not necessarily for kids. Well, there's a few scenes in it not necessarily for kids. Other than that, it's really not so bad. But hey, that's the way things were back then, if you want to say that. This part right here, if you'll look it up and read more onto it, they concreted over this area. And after the 70s excavation, I don't know if they took it to bedrock and thought they were done or whatever, and just wanted to make a walking space, but that was noted, like clearly in 2 articles, kind of like maybe they wanted to say, and look, they concreted over. Well, why'd you do that? Well, look what we found in the rest of it. So, like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy, and we'll get on to the next one. But yeah, verified dating instead of speculation on layering. For a lot of dating is done with charcoal bits found in layers right next to it, but people are able to get a lot closer to it with that incredible science we've got going on. Peace.